Hello guys, it's the unclear 999. When she leaves, it hurts in a way that words often fail to capture. Because her absence, just the lack of a personite, is the echo of everything she brought into your world. It's the silence, where laughter used to be, the empty space in the room that once felt full just because she was in it. The pain comes from the disruption of something that once felt safe, comforting, and deeply connected. When she leaves, it's not only her physical presence that vanishes, it's the loss of shared routines, late night conversations, inside jokes, her voice calling your name, and the sense of emotional refuge that came from knowing she was there. You grieve the memories that were made, and the future that will never happen the way you imagined it. You question what went wrong, replay every moment, wonder if you could have done something different, and carry the weight of every unanswered question. The emotional bond, once strong and secure, now becomes a source of vulnerability, of aching void. Love isn't just emotional, it's chemical to the brain, having grown accustomed to the dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin from her presence, reacts with confusion and pain when she's gone, almost like withdrawal. It hurts because you invested a piece of yourself, your time, your affection, your trust, only to have it pulled away, leaving you raw and exposed. And deeper still, it hurts because love makes us hope, and when she leaves, it feels like those hopes collapse in silence. But in that very pain lies the evidence of how deeply we can love, and over time, while her absence will still echo, your heart learns to fill those spaces with strength, reflection, and the quiet resilience of healing. Yet, as we continue down this path of technological progress, we must also consider the psychological and philosophical implications of prolonged life. What happens to motivation, ambition, or the human sense of urgency when life is stretched far beyond what was once considered normal? Mortality, after all, has long served as the invisible clock that drives us to act, love, create, and achieve. If life were to be extended indefinitely, would people still live with the same passion, or would purpose slowly erode under the illusion of infinite time? These are questions philosophers and ethicists are beginning to wrestle with as technology inches closer to the once fictional realm of radical life extension. Moreover, we cannot ignore the issue of accessibility. Currently, the benefits of life-extending technology, whether advanced cancer therapies, organ replacements, or longevity drugs, are primarily available to the wealthy. If this trend continues, it could deepen social inequality, dividing the world into the long-lived privileged and the short-lived poor. A world where only the rich can afford to live longer would introduce a disturbing new layer of class division, with life itself becoming a luxury. That's why ethical deployment, public health policies, and equitable access to innovation are just as critical as the breakthroughs themselves. From a societal standpoint, extended lifespans will also reach everything from retirement planning and social security systems to education and employment. If people routinely live past 100 in good health, the concept of retirement at 65 becomes obsolete. Education might span decades instead of years, and people may change careers multiple times across their extended lives. But are we ready for such a paradigm shift? Are our institutions, governments, and mindsets prepared to evolve at the pace of technological advancement? That remains to be seen. Still, in the face of all these complex questions, the central promise of technologies that it can reduce suffering and enhance life remains incredibly powerful. Innovations like AI-based diagnostic tools, wearable glucose monitors, robotic-assisted rehabilitation, and predictive algorithms for mental health are helping people not only live longer but live with greater independence, dignity, and peace of mind. Technologies that detect strokes before symptoms arise or monitor heart health in real time are saving lives every day. In the long run, it may not just be about living longer, but about living better through preventative care, enhanced well-being, and personalized medicine. Technology can also support emotional health, connecting people across distances, offering support communities, and even providing therapy via virtual platforms. Mental and emotional wellness are often overlooked in discussions about longevity, yet they are central to the quality of extended life. The goal should not be immortality, but fulfillment. For every new technology that emerges, there must be a human-centered approach guiding its implementation, one that values empathy, equality, and a sense of shared destiny. If we approach technological innovation with caution and care, aligning it with universal values and societal good, we can create a future where living longer also means living wiser, fuller, and more connected lives. So, is longer life through technology a good or bad thing? Like most powerful tools, it depends on how we use it and for whose benefit. As we continue to advance technologically, the line between natural life and artificially extended life begins to blur, raising even more profound questions about identity, ethics, and purpose. Technologies like artificial intelligence and biotechnology aren't just curing diseases, they're opening doors to radical life extension, where aging itself may one day be treated as a medical condition. Some experts suggest that within a few decades, we might be able to significantly delay aging or even reverse some of its effects. Companies and research institutions around the world are already pouring billions into longevity science, aiming to decode the human genome, manipulate cellular aging, and even upload consciousness into machines. While these developments are fascinating and filled with potential, they also come with a heavy psychological and societal burden. If we live for 120 or even 150 years, what happens to the meaning of life as we know it? Will we value each day as much, or will life become monotonous and less precious? Will the opportunity to start over multiple times improve mental resilience or cause existential fatigue? Moreover, there's a growing fear that such life-extending technologies might only be accessible to the wealthy, creating an even greater gap between social classes. Imagine a world where the rich live 50 years longer than the poor, not because of genetics, but because of access. That kind of disparity could breed resentment, social unrest, and a distorted human hierarchy based not on merit or morality, but on biological privilege. Additionally, living longer means working longer, which could either be an opportunity for purpose-driven lives or a burden for those who are forced to labor longer to survive financially. Retirement, as we know it, would fundamentally change, and the structure of careers, family, and education would all need to be rethought. Our psychological preparedness for these shifts will be just as critical as our medical readiness. On a more individual level, living longer because of technology could allow people to fulfill dreams that were once out of reach. Lifelong learning, multiple careers, and deeper relationships become possible. Families could span more generations, creating richer intergenerational wisdom. But to thrive in this extended life, we will need to adopt a new kind of mental and emotional resilience. We must learn how to adapt to rapid changes, navigate grief that may repeat many times over, and maintain a sense of purpose through evolving life stages. Meditation, therapy, lifelong education, and community building will become as important as physical health interventions. We will need not just the tools to live longer, but the wisdom to know how to live well for longer. Ultimately, whether the extension of human life through technology is a good or bad thing depends on how we manage it. If approached responsibly, it could lead to a golden age of human flourishing, where knowledge, wisdom, and experience are accumulated rather than lost, and where older generations continue to contribute meaningfully to society. However, if pursued recklessly, it risks becoming a source of new conflict, inequality, and spiritual emptiness. As with all powerful tools, technology is neutral. It's as how we use it that determines whether it becomes a blessing or a curse. To ensure a better future, we must pair innovation with ethics, progress with compassion, and longevity with humanity. Thank you, and please subscribe.